Hello and welcome to week 10 of Composition 2. We are moving right along, and as you can see right now on the presented screen, that we are primarily now focused on our research project. So the last few weeks have been kind of a warm-up research, ironing things out, trying to understand the issues within our topic and figuring out where we can enter and engage in a dialogue and discussion about these topics. So we've done a lot of work on that. And now we have to start actually putting pen to paper and write. So this week, we are going to start to look at how do we start putting our papers together. We've already put together a rough draft of your overview, so hopefully you have an idea of what it is you think you're going to say, and your research, I'm sorry, not your research, but your review of literature, which is starting to interact with those sources and say, well, here's what I have, and here's what I think is going to be useful for my project. Now we're starting to actually say something, and I know we only have a week to do this, and that's a little intimidating, but that's all we really have to do. So our main goal for this week is to submit a revision of our book review. So some of you I know are already looking at your comments. Some of you aren't, but that's all right. We'll get to that. And then have a draft of your research argument. And it's not supposed to be a perfect draft. The idea is that this is a working draft. So to help us out, we do have one discussion board entry that we have to do. We're just going to think out loud. And that's what the goal of this discussion board is, to make you think about it. Make an argument about your topic and explain what needs to be done about your topic. So to do that, you need to have a history of your topic, that kind of background, which is what we try to look at when we're looking at the overview, looking at what's leading to the arguments, and then try to figure some things out. So part one, I call it quick thinking. I just want you to write and not think too much. I know it says thinking, but if you had to boil down your topic to one issue, what would it be? How is the issue being addressed? If you could solve it magically, what would you do? What would be the result? Right? So think about these external consequences. If you wave a magic wand and, let's say your paper is something about climate change, right? You wave a magic wand and the climate's better. Well, did you leave it open for things to get worse later on? Or did you actually solve one of the problems? Okay, well, what would solve it would be a magical renewable energy source to reduce our dependency on fossil fuels. Boom, done. Okay, there's an economy that's backing the whole fossil fuel industry. How do we change that? So those are things that we have to think about with these additional results. Secondly, what's the dumbest thing we could do to solve the problem with this issue, right? Okay, well, dumbest thing for climate change, it might be, we'll just ban all pollution. Well, that sounds like a great idea, but how are we going to do that? Like, who's going to be first, responsible for making sure that we all stop polluting? What pollutions are we talking about? Plastic pollutions, emissions, anything. So it sounds like a good idea, but it's probably not. Or maybe another dumb idea would be, oh, we just need to pollute more or do nothing, right? Solutions that sound smart but won't work, right? We'll just convert all the cars to electric without maybe investing in an infrastructure that charges them, because now instead of using those fossil fuels to power the cars themselves, we're using the power generators to power the cars. So we're not solving the pollution. So what are these solutions that sound smart but don't work? What's the worst that could happen, right? We all die, right? That's always the worst thing that could happen. But maybe something else, be a little more specific. What's the best case scenario? Well, everybody's happier. I don't know. Think about that. World peace, right? That's an ideal scenario. After you've written these things down, just like throwing stuff out there, because we need to throw things out there and see what sticks and what doesn't. I want you to take some time and reflect. Read through your responses. What makes sense? Well, actually, maybe this dumb idea does make a little bit more sense now that I think about it. Is there even a solution? Some problems don't have solutions, right? If it involves requiring change of peoples and mindsets, how do we require that? I mean, right now we're seeing this huge issue with, COVID-19 and masks, right? There is a solution to stopping the transmission of this disease, which involves a lot of different protocols that people refuse to do. Well, if we can't change that human behavior, then maybe that's not the right solution. So can it be solved? No. Well, not here, maybe. I don't know. What is the easiest or simplest solution? Right, so that's an interesting question to ask, because sometimes we have to find that easy, simple solution. Does your dumb idea make sense? And then let's look at your topic from a different angle now that you've tested some things out. So that's our discussion. I want you to just kind of play around with that. In addition, we have our book review that is due. You'll click on this to review your feedback. My computer's really slow right now, I'm sorry. You need to go into here to see my comments. So you click on view complete and it's going to take you to another screen. Unfortunately, I can't show you how it works because my instructor screen is different. Click on that, you'll see a little blue view button over on this side. Just click on it and you can read my comments. Additionally, click on view complete and you can look at your comments for the peer review. And I do have some videos on how to do that, I think in the previous week if you go to week 8. So submit that, and then finally in our, I didn't post the link, but in our groups page, I'll post a link for that. Go into your group, right, and go to the discussion board. Once again, this is how you get to it, and you can share a copy of your research draft by Friday. Then by Sunday, I want you to go through and comment on 3 of your classmates or your group members. You know, is there a clear thesis and argument? And it's okay if there isn't. Is there some support? Is there a counter argument? Does the author address the counter argument? So these are things that I want you to start thinking about doing. And it's okay if you don't do these things in your draft, but I just want you to start thinking about this draft. So it's going to be a very rough draft. I just want you to start writing down ideas. I would love for you to have 800 words or so. I think that would be great. Anyway, so that is where we are. Please let me know if you have questions about any of this. I'm happy to help, but have a good week.